everybody. Welcome to Beach Theory. We have a special episode today for you guys.
I don't know what
It's
this is.
the Beach Theory Christmas special.
Aha! And you're wearing a Christmas sweater.
That's right, and I'm wearing my Christmas shirt too.
Yeah.
So I thought it'd be really fun since Christmas is next week or this week or today, I guess, depending on when or where you're listening to this, to talk about some of our childhood Christmas experiences and what Christmas was like growing up for your family or for my family.
Yes, I would say in general, I can tell how it's been for us. Do you want me to just tell like in general, or do you want specific stories, or do you
You
want
can go
both?
general and then you can go specific too.
Okay,
I think that'd be fun.
so I think mostly we had I don't know, a certain amount of presents for each of us. We had 9 kids growing up. Can
That's
you
a lot of kids.
imagine how many presents were under the Christmas tree? But surprisingly, we always had Christmas even when we were financially like not doing very well.
Mm-hmm.
Which is cool because I felt like, well, I didn't know at the time, but I'm sure that we were getting special help from Santa's helpers, if you know what I mean.
Who are you talking about?
Like just friends and neighbors and
Okay,
like
gotcha.
people from the ward.
Could
or
be
church.
anybody. You never know what,
Yeah, I
what is
mean-
intended by that phrase. Santa's helper.
But I remember probably the most magical one. Oh, here's a couple memories. We went out. We liked to go out and look at Christmas lights when we were younger. And it was like go for usually around Christmas Eve or close to it. We would either go to the Festival of Lights in Spanish Fork or
Which is like a drive-through
light
Christmas lighting.
show with music and a whole
It's not
bunch
even
of
really a
different
I wouldn't classify it as a show
That's
because in
true.
my mind, when I think of a show, I think of you sitting there.
storyline. There's no
a-
storyline. It's just a bunch of decorations and
Yeah.
lights and music, and it's fun.
Yeah.
And a lot of people would they have like hay bale rides through it sometimes, and they have like everybody gets hot chocolate, and it's just fun. It's just really fun. But I remember we did that. And typically whenever we did that, we would also drive around just like town and find all the Christmas lights
Look
and be
at
like,
Christmas
ooh, look at
lights.
that one. Ooh, look
Cool.
at that one. So that was fun. They had a light parade at one point, but I think we only did that like once or twice.
Did your family decorate much for Christmas?
Yeah, that was one of the holidays that we decorated a lot for, and it was so magical. I remember staring at my mom as she was wrapping lights around our Christmas tree before there was pre-lit trees, which are so nice, by
Good
the
old
way.
pre-lit tree.
And just I think we had Christmas music playing, and she was like singing the Christmas music and wrapping the lights around the tree, telling the kids, don't touch that, don't break that, don't. But it was like one of my favorite Christmas memories, just like so peaceful, so exciting, because Santa Claus was gonna come.
I feel like we need to have like a wreath or something hanging
Hey,
in the background.
It can be edited in. Right.
Just like a twinkling wreath.
Yeah.
That could be kind of fun.
Let's do that.
Okay.
Also, there was one Christmas. We would actually, for a long time, probably up until I was like 8,
Mm-hmm.
we would every Christmas Eve go to my grandma's house and do the nativity story with all the grandchildren. So the grandchildren would get, little towels and wrap around their heads and, little costumes. And then
Isn't that cultural appropriation?
I don't know. Anyways, it doesn't matter. Let's not think about my memories in a politically correct way.
Okay, good. I like that.
Anyways, it was really fun, and we did that every Christmas up until about then, and then I think we moved further away, and it didn't really happen anymore.
Right.
Also, we had 9 kids, and I remember going to my grandma's house. It started getting to a point where it was difficult for her, and my mom would always feel bad when we left
Yeah.
because it was just kind of like ambushed by children, and then she was like, my grandma, and was like tired, and kind of exhausted. It wore her out, you know. So I
You have
remember.
sympathy for your mom when
Oh,
you
I wear her out plenty. Yeah,
or your
with
kids
my
anyway.
kids. But it was really fun. And then we kind of stopped doing that. But I do remember one special Christmas. I'm gonna close my eyes so I can remember it better.
I feel like I can hear jingle bells right now.
You can hear that. Just kidding. That's tape. So
You
we
go.
all left the house and we went for a drive doing looking at lights. And I think we had gone to Grandma's house, and both my mom and dad were with us, and we saw Santa Claus in the sky. Somehow, in
I've
my
heard this
memory,
story.
it still is the same. In my memory, what I saw was red and green lights in a long trail, like a sleigh with reindeer. And it was flashing, and I think my dad probably leaned out the window and said, "Did you hear that? I heard ho, ho, ho," or something like that. You know, like, it was real. It was so
No,
real.
There's an airport in Spanish Fort. Was
Yes,
this
there
in
is.
Spanish Fort?
Yes.
Could it have been an airplane just with lights hanging off of it?
Yeah.
Do you think that's probably what it was?
Honestly, it might have just been a regular airplane, but it was exaggerated with Christmas cheer. I don't know. I don't know.
Or
have no
maybe it
idea.
was really Santa
Maybe it
Claus.
was real. I think it was real. But still, to this day, that was pretty exciting. And then one Christmas, Jennifer saw, Mom kept saying, "There's a lot of deer in our yard, and I think they're Santa's helpers. They're noticing if you're good or bad."
Oh, the deer are watching you.
And Jennifer was like, "No." And then, like, the next day, to her window, there was deer footprints up to her window. And she was like, "I better be good."
That's how you creep around in the wintertime, is you just wear shoes that have a deer hoof print. Like stilts.
That's so funny.
And people
Brian's
just
seen
think it's
ones
deer.
that have bare hoofs on it. That is so funny. What else? And that night when we went home, this was the craziest thing. Usually we would, have the typical Christmas. You put out some milk and cookies, and usually it was just whatever we had in the house already. Sometimes it was a carrot,
Carrots?
Santa needs to go on a diet. We would put those things out.
Those were the years that you
too.
didn't get very many presents.
I don't know. Maybe that
probably.
was when my mom was like, "You guys need to not eat so much sugar, and Santa Claus shouldn't either. Let's put out some carrots and ranch or something." I don't know. But we went out. We saw Santa Claus in the sky, and when we got home, Santa Claus had already been to our house, and this was Christmas Eve.
So you came home from looking at lights, and there were
Yes.
already presents under the tree.
And we were blown away. Everybody, of course, ran straight up to the tree and was like, "Santa Claus, he's been here. It's so crazy." And then they said, "Don't touch anything. Go to bed." And it was the worst sleep I've ever had on Christmas night ever, because I saw it. I saw it already, and I knew it was there, and I could not sleep. I could not sleep.
That's funny.
It was so horrible. I didn't sleep at all that night, and then I just woke up and we opened up all the presents and stuff. But that was the most magical and also the worst, because I couldn't sleep at all once I saw it, and I just wanted to open them all up.
That's really funny. I don't even remember,
I bet my parents slept really well that Christmas.
they slept.
'Cause-
Why? Because they didn't have to put up all the presents.
We better be careful so none of the children hear what we're saying.
Oh yeah, that's right. So I don't remember very many Christmases before I was like a teenager.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm sometimes shocked at what you do remember and what you don't remember.
Yeah. I'm shocked a little bit too. I do remember. Okay, so like, I don't remember.
This is why girls mature faster than boys, because we have all our memories. Just kidding.
Like, I don't remember any Christmases before the divorce. I don't remember any Christmases, in the old little house right after the divorce. I think I only remember one Christmas in the house in Pine Hills. And
Okay.
the only thing that I remember about it was, well, two things. I remember one time there was a cat in the house, and a dog came into the house and chased the cat.
What?
behind the Christmas tree and knocked over the Christmas tree.
Were these your animals or just random
I
animals
think
from
the cat
the
was
street?
ours, and I think that we found a dog outside and we were like giving it milk.
Hey, Mom, look.
And then the dog saw the cat and ran in the house. So.
Oh, that would be like Christmas chaos.
And
Christmas is
knocked
ruined.
over the Christmas tree. And
We had a few of those times knocking over Christmas trees. Yep.
And then I also remember one Christmas I got sick. And I was sick all day for Christmas.
Oh, that's
and that
the
was like
worst.
the worst Christmas.
That happened when we lived in Florida after we were married.
Really?
Yep. The first Christmas when we were in Florida, like
Did you get sick?
James was almost a year. Everyone got sick.
Oh, I forgot.
Christmas afternoon.
See, I don't even remember that.
Yeah.
I blocked those memories out.
I remember the good and the bad, I guess.
I remember a lot more about Christmases when we lived in Apopka in the big house,
Yeah.
which is when I was like a teenager. I remember.
I guess if you move a lot, but I moved a lot too, so no excuses for you. Just
one
kidding.
year, all of us siblings, because there was 9 kids in our family too. I remember one year we all went into the big back bedroom of the house, which was like very far and disconnected from the main living room where the Christmas tree was. And we stayed up for hours, like telling stories and telling jokes. And I remember even we had like a cassette player, and I remember we recorded something. I don't remember what it was, but it was something fun. And I just remember having a really good time with my siblings as we like waited and wanted to try to stay up all night, you know, but we had to also stay out of the house because that's where the magic was happening.
Wait,
And
so you all had to stay in that back bedroom?
all of us.
That would be nice if we had a back bedroom in this house.
It was like the kids' party room
Yeah.
while Christmas was being set up. And it was tradition in our family to either stay up late or go to bed late. And then we'd always get up really early. Like if we went to bed at
Yes.
midnight, we'd get up at like
5
4 a.m. or 5 a.m. Like before the
Us
sun came
too.
up.
Us too.
And we would get up and we would go and we'd see our stockings. And we'd open up our stockings and we'd eat candy and we'd see all the presents, and it was the most magical vision of amazing. And then we'd always fall right back to sleep. There in
Yeah.
the Christmas tree room with all the presents around us, we'd fall back to sleep.
Uh-huh.
And then we'd usually wake up again around 8.
Yeah.
And that's when we'd get breakfast, and then we'd
This
wake
is
up,
making
Mom.
me excited for
get up.
Christmas. Mostly
Yeah.
because I'm going to eat a chocolate orange this Christmas.
That's always your one cheat
This
thing.
Christmas, I'm eating chocolate. It's gonna be orange flavored, and that's the best.
I also love watching Christmas movies. Oh, another year. We got this book that had 25 Christmas stories.
Oh
And it
yeah,
was like a binder.
that's cool.
And I remember every day of December leading up to Christmas, we would read one
I
story
should make that.
to kind of get us in the mood.
I should do that.
You should. It was like one of my favorite things.
I should do that.
As an older
I could
brother,
make it on Pins and Things.
I would get all my siblings together and I'd say, okay, guys, it's time for today's Christmas story. And we'd read the story together. And
Oh, that's fun.
there was always like a fun message or whatever. I don't remember what the stories were now, but
You know what we should do?
that was fun.
We should, because it's always leads up to a Christmas program with primary. So we should like pair it with children's primary songs. So like have one story and one song each night or something like that.
Sure. I don't.
That'd be fun.
And then I feel like every year, like as I got older, every year there was more and more presents under the tree.
Oh, really?
But I think it was because there's more and more kids in the family.
That's probably right.
And then on Christmas Day, when my mom and dad finally got up, because they always slept in way
you're
too
like
long.
dying.
It's not like they were
You wanna
tired because they
open
stayed up late or
presents.
anything. Finally, they'd get up, usually around 9 or 10, and then it would
So
typically...
you were allowed to open your stockings.
We were allowed to get into our
That was
stockings.
it?
That was it. And then we waited for mom and dad to get up. And then it was always the system, every Christmas, without fail. It was always, we'd start with one of the kids to open a present or to pick out a present, but they couldn't pick it out for themselves. They had to pick it for somebody else. So they'd go look under the tree. Oh, this one's a really big one. It says to Missy. And so then they give it to Missy. She'd open the present. Everybody would watch. And then when she opened her present, then she would go pick out a present.
That's funny. In our family, it was who's gonna be Santa this year or something. I think they would say that. maybe.
And then
one of them would be the one to just hand out presents and sit but right next to the tree. We would all pick a spot in the room, so we would have our toys in our little pile.
we did that too.
So it didn't get all mixed up, or else it would just be chaos and everybody would be screaming, "That's my toy!" So one of us would just get to be Santa and hand out the presents, and once the person was done, they'd get another one and hand it out.
Did you guys also do it one at a time?
It always started out one at a time, and then it would end with, "I'm too tired of this. I'm just gonna." Everybody would like get bored of it and just start ripping open presents and wrapping papers flying everywhere.
That never happened one time. It was always,
with you?
Yeah, it was always a 3 or 4 hour long ordeal, but everybody was always very patient because it was always so exciting to see the next present, and like hoping had your name on it, like it was just an adventure, and we never rushed it. We just savored every moment.
They would say, "Find one for Jennifer, find one for Andrew. Let's go through everybody." So that's why it took so long. It was like you wouldn't necessarily get to open 2 in a row.
Oh.
It was like
We
you'd
never
wait,
did-
you'd get 9
We never did 2 in a
8
row
other
either.
people.
But it might be like Jessica would open a present, and then she would go and pick one, and it had Johnny's name, and then Johnny would open it, and then he'd go and pick one, and it was Jessica again. So it might go back and forth.
Yeah.
But it was never 2 in a row.
Yeah,
'Cause
ours
you
were
couldn't
like
pick out a present that had your own name on it. That was the rule.
yeah, that's so funny. And it's funny because I almost feel like I'm melting some of what we've started to do as our own family into what maybe I did when I was younger. Like I think it would actually be interesting to have my siblings here saying, "No, we didn't like this," like.
Well, I distinctly remember how we did it.
But I'm pretty sure that I'm right.
I think
my siblings tell me in real life when you listen to this if I'm right or wrong.
How do we do it with our kids? I don't even remember.
Well, that
Isn't
was
it
only
always-
1 year ago.
I feel like it's always just kind of chaos. And it goes too fast. I think I want to do it this year where one person at a time.
I'm pretty
opens
sure
it.
that's what we have been doing, is one person at a time. And we
You know
told
what I
them
think
we
it
have the
is?
same rule for them where it's you can open your stockings.
We always do a live stream on Christmas.
Yeah.
And I guess that always takes longer.
Yeah.
Because
That's
it's
true.
like, or at least
Are we gonna do a live stream on Christmas this year?
we could.
That'll be fun.
That could be
That'll
fun.
be really fun.
I think that when you aren't filming it, you're more involved in the energy and the
That's
spirit.
true.
But when you're filming it or live streaming it, it kind
It's
of
like your attention gets separated, dispersed through many more people.
right.
So it's harder to pay attention.
Maybe we don't live stream it this year.
Oh, but we would miss it. The kids love watching it all year round.
Going back and watching.
They watch them all. They watch them in like a row. All of our Christmas
They are fun
specials.
to watch. But I was thinking about this year and thinking maybe we do less presents this year. Because every other year we've always done tons of presents or whatever. And I feel like
Yeah, honestly, our kids don't need a million
we
things.
don't need any more presents.
But they do want chocolate oranges.
I'm leaning more towards
Should get
like,
those now.
let's plan, let's do a fun activity or a fun game or
You know what I want to do for them?
speak louder.
Do you know what I want to do for them?
What's the plan for this year?
I just don't want them outside of this room.
Go shut the door.
Baby's waking up.
Uh-oh.
What I want to do is I want to get those treasure chests from the RV, and I want to paint them with their own names on them and make it so they have a special little chest for all their precious things in their room that
That's
each
like
of them
one of their-
has, and that's one of their gifts.
That's one of their gifts is the
Yeah.
chests.
And it will be special, just, special for them. Because I realized as I've been helping them clean their room, they don't really have a spot that's safe for little trinkets that they really value and love. And I used to have like a box or something that
I
I
had
would
a
put
box
stuff in.
too.
So I'm like, oh, I need to get that for them.
It was an old empty cigar box.
From what?
So I don't
Where'd
remember.
you get a cigar box? Nobody in your family.
I just remember it was we were
Smokes.
cleaning something, or maybe it was from a garage sale or something. It was
Probably.
just a box, and I remember
Yeah.
thinking, "Ooh, I could use a box."
I need that. That's funny. So, oh yeah, I know what I'm getting. So I'm making that for them. I think I also need to do chocolate oranges. I haven't done any Christmas shopping for anyone.
Well, I think we're just gonna use Climber toys, aren't we?
We are.
So that's
But there are little
because
things
we need
here
to
and there.
we need to be careful with our
James
budget.
wants like an Etch-a-Sketch. Like
That's right.
little tiny things like that specifically they've asked for we can do, you know.
Okay.
So that's what I was thinking that we would do. You know, with we don't have much of a budget because of everything that's happening in January.
What do you think about, instead of like, what if we get them
What
one
if you do-
present each, and then what if we get for the rest of any budget? What if they got presents for each other? Because I want them to have more of a sense of giving and not
Yeah.
always thinking, what am I getting? I want this, I want this, I want this, and this long list of a
Yeah.
million things that they want. And
Yeah,
then they're mad if they don't get it. Like, that's
a good
just
point.
not the right attitude. And I think if there's anything we can do to get them to learn, you know,
Yeah.
how to give, and that's more important and that's
Yeah.
more fulfilling.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, if we can get them to do that and get excited about that,
Yeah.
I will feel, you know, like I've completed my job.
Yeah, well, that's the point with all of our leftover toys that we have for like brand deals, because we have a lot.
Mm-hmm.
We appreciate those and we use those for Christmas and for bringing out. Usually, we did this last year and it was the best thing. I will always look forward to this, and hopefully we will always be able to do this. But it's where we take all of our leftover toys and we call around and find some families that need them, and then we drop off a box, and it's so
Oh
exciting.
yeah, that was fun.
Oh, it's
Oh,
so exciting.
I just remembered another tradition that your family has, but has only started since we've been married
What?
and we've had our own kids, and that is they do a gift exchange where
Yes.
every member of the family is assigned one other member of the family.
Well, they started that because some people would be well off financially and others wouldn't, and
I don't think anybody's been well off financially, but
but like
everybody was
some
feeling-
people would have a budget for
they
a
were
present for
pressured
everybody,
to buy a lot of presents for each member of the family.
and that's just too many people.
So we're like, okay, even though maybe you can, let's cut it down to just one present per
Yep.
person. And not per person, but like one person that you have to give it to.
Yeah.
Per person.
And then if you find something that you want for somebody else, you can give more, but at least just so that everybody gets one, and
So everybody gets something.
and everybody only is required.
Expected.
Not required. Yeah,
And then
expected, I guess.
Another tradition that your family's always done for Christmas is a white elephant gift exchange.
And we have only started that probably around the same time that we started
I've been doing that for like maybe the last 5 years.
and I think the gift exchange too.
Yeah.
And ugly sweater party. Like we have a Christmas party with ugly sweater and white elephant gifts.
Yes. So that's
And
where we
it's
do
so
the gift
fun.
exchange, the white elephant
And
gift,
Jennifer
and
usually
ugly
makes
sweater.
fudge.
And that's kind of, we've done that on Christmas Day, and we've done that before
Oh.
Christmas. We've kind of done it both in the
Oh, yeah.
past, and this year we're going to do it before Christmas.
Which I'm glad about.
Me too, because
Yeah.
in fact, I think with the way we have Christmas structured this year, it's going to be just us. Like, I don't think everybody's planning on
Oh yeah, I don't think they
I don't know
are
if
either.
anybody's
I think
planning
they
on
might
coming
come
over.
like Christmas night, which we should have another Thanksgiving because I love Thanksgiving. Food.
Thanksgiving
Let's get some food.
food all winter long. Till January, and then you're like, okay, crap, I ate way too much
And then in the
junk.
middle of July, I go, Thanksgiving in July.
Just because you're
'Cause
craving
I'm
it.
hungry.
So I don't even know, what am I gonna get you for Christmas?
I don't know. What are you going to give me for Christmas? What am I going to get you too?
I got a smooch for you.
No, wait till Christmas.
But
Just
it is
kidding.
Christmas when they're watching this.
I wanted to say what our normal like Christmas day was because you said yours, but I don't think I really said mine. And it's when I was growing up, at least.
Oh yeah.
Like we would, same thing, get to bed super late, not because we weren't put to bed on time, but because we just could not sleep. We could not sleep. We just stayed up and we were like, what? Was that him? Was that? Did you hear that? Was that? I think that's Santa. Did he come? I don't know. We were just freaking out and all talking to each other. I think we kind of like stayed in the same rooms more.
You're
Almost like a
cute.
big sleepover with like,
That's like what we did.
yeah. But I don't think we did it every winter
We didn't do it every
or in
winter,
every house.
every Christmas either.
Yeah. We did do it a couple times where it was like, we're having a sleepover, which made it even that much harder to sleep. But then we would wake up, same thing, at like 5 a.m. And we'd be like, Mom, Dad, wake up, wake up. But the thing is, they wouldn't sleep in. Once we were awake, they were kind of like, and we were allowed to get our stocking too, I think, and start getting into it. But mostly the second we woke up, my mom and dad were awake too. But only because we would go in their room and be like, Santa Claus came, Santa Claus came. So they'd be like, okay, we're coming.
You're making me tired just thinking about it.
Specifically placed yawns. Yeah, and then my dad would usually pull out the video camera,
set it on a tripod,
camcorder, set it on a tripod,
never
and
touch it again.
Never touch it again.
Because there's so many family videos
battery died.
where the camera's just sitting there and
Stationary.
everyone's just walking around,
Yep.
opening presents. Sometimes it's fun to watch until someone stands in front of the camera
And
for
then
5
you
minutes.
just look at their butt for 10 minutes, and it's like,
Maybe you do. I fast forward.
forward it. This is boring. Butts are boring. Anyways. And it was like I said, it was always, now everybody listen up. One person's going to be Santa Claus. This is how it's going to go.
How would they decide who's Santa Claus?
I think my dad would just pick someone. Sometimes it was my dad.
Oh, okay.
Actually, growing up at first, it was always my dad.
Yeah.
Up until maybe I was like 5 or 6. And then it was like, I remember Ryan being it one year and Andrew being it one year and Jennifer being it one year. But
And
I don't
you
think I
never
ever got
got
it.
I'm not surprised. You're a bit immature, if I remember correctly.
You weren't there.
I've seen the videos.
Hey, you're less mature and I'm more mature. And if we meet in the middle, that's what it is.
You are really cute. You know that?
Thanks. But then, yeah. Oh, yeah. Then my parents would wake up. We'd open up all the presents, and we'd be really slow at first. And then we would all go crazy and just open up all the presents because we couldn't wait. And then there's wrapping paper everywhere. And Mom's like, slow down. Wait. Oh, you opened that. I didn't see you open that. And then candy. All of us would eat candy for breakfast.
Mm-hmm.
That's all we ate, really.
I remember getting Danishes one year for breakfast.
I think we did.
Now I'm actually really hungry. Maybe I have to end this podcast early. I gotta go get some of that Thanksgiving dinner.
Oh yeah, I just made more like turkey and stuff yesterday, but you're distracting me with food.
I'm sorry.
Once I was a teenager, that's when chocolate oranges came out for the first time. I never remember seeing chocolate oranges before I was a teenager. And oh my goodness. My mouth is watering right now. It's actually watering right now. That is my favorite candy. That is my favorite treat. That is my favorite food. If I could live off of chocolate oranges, I would.
Your sister made chocolate orange fudge yesterday.
I know. And I recognize I love the flavor, but I do really love and crave the crunch of chocolate. And I love that it's a full thing of chocolate. Like it's
not hollow.
It's not hollow. What a rip-off when chocolate is hollow. That is a rip-off.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, I was like, you've got to be kidding me. It was like opening up a present underneath a tree that was wrapped that was empty. Yeah. That's what it felt like.
That's just wrong. I've always been disappointed in that too.
Yeah, I wrapped a whole bunch of presents underneath the tree. When I was a kid, that was probably one of my things I hated most in life, was when like a doctor's office or something had a Christmas present, had like a whole bunch of wrapped Christmas presents underneath the tree, and they had nothing in them. And I would go up and shake them, and I would ask my mom, can I open this? Or who's this for?
Have your name on it.
I know, but I was little. I wanted to open presents. And she'd be like, no, don't open it. It has nothing in it. I'm like, why would they do that? What kind of a horrible Grinch would do this to
And then
children?
you did that this year.
And then I did it this year. And all of them have been open now.
All of them?
Much to their disappointment, there was nothing in them.
Didn't have their name on it, so they broke Christmas. You know what you do?
You know, it was magic. It didn't have their name on it, so the present disappeared. They shouldn't have opened it.
For every present that they open that's not theirs, they lose a present on Christmas morning. Like,
So
that's why you
there
kids
was
aren't
a
getting any
huge pile,
Christmases.
but now there's nothing
That's right.
because
You opened it
You
too
opened up
early.
all those empty presents. We're evil.
Way to ruin Christmas.
How the Grinches stole our kids' Christmas. Just kidding.
Good
and then we would
times.
all sleep. We would all take a nap. And Christmas Day is unlike any other day. Like, we had nothing planned any year
We never
other than
slept.
just open
I
presents
remember
and play with presents, and everybody was individually quiet. Nobody would fight with each other. Everybody had their own stuff, and we would eat tons of chocolate and candy until we were like, we need real food at the end of the day, like at 9 p.m. when it was dark outside. We'd be like, we're hungry for real food, and Mom would usually make one real meal. Other than that, it was candy from our stockings. Best day ever!
we would usually play basketball or soccer or football or something after opening presents. But growing up in Florida, it was never usually super cold on Christmas Day.
That's true.
Like we might have been wearing sweaters and jeans, but we were never wearing like big jackets and snow boots because
They didn't even have snow clothes at
That's
their
true.
house.
we didn't even have it. We
Which
didn't
is
need it.
so weird.
We never would have used it.
It's true. It would have just not gotten used.
Yeah.
But for me, it was like, I remember going to Florida and being like, where are they? But you don't have any gloves? What? It was weird. And really fun
What would
because...
you have done with them? They would have just sat. I think we.
I know.
I just remembered. We had a cedar chest, and it was always full of like the cold snow gear. But we might get into it once out of the whole year, and then put it back and never use it again. It's probably brought from like 10 years before when we lived in Oregon.
It's seriously like living in a different world to me. Like, I remember thinking, this isn't Christmas. This can't be Christmas.
What's
There
always
has to be snow. There's no snow.
What's-
This feels fake.
whenever we watch shows where they like go out to dinner on Christmas or they go on a trip for Christmas and that's like all they do, there's always a part of me that's like, that's so wrong.
Yeah.
I just can't feel good about
Christmas
that.
isn't Christmas without... Finish that sentence.
Christmas tree,
Christmas lights.
presents under the tree.
Snow.
Like if you don't have all that, and snow's not even a necessary.
Snow is a
As
necessary.
long as you don't have all that, then you're fine. But I'm excited for Christmas this year.
Me too.
I hope you guys have a Merry Christmas, and I thank you guys for watching today's Beach Theory episode.
Now
all
I just
about
want chocolate
Christmas.
oranges, and you just want turkey. Oh, I need...
Let's go take a break.
My mouth's watering. I have to go.
And stay tuned for next week, because next week's episode, we're going to talk about the new year, new goals for our own life today, actually.
Okay.
We got some big, exciting news.
I think that's good.
Some big plans. So make sure to stay tuned for that. And we hope you guys have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And we'll see you guys next time.
Bye.
Pod the game.